This video is going to require a update video to this, but I've got the mini intelligent it says mini intelligent incubator, and this guy here, now there's your eggs. This is the number, this is 7. It houses 7 eggs, and you put them facing point down, and converting your temperature is easy. This would be like 98 degrees or 99 degrees or something like that along those lines. But you've got I know some, I've heard folks say it gets too hot. Well, if you let this get to just work temperature or whatever it does with the light, and it just runs up, you just plug this thing in, right? If you just plug this thing in, it'll clock up pretty high. And now these, before someone says something, these eggs were under a hen's butt. They were, it might come out wrong. There was a hen laying on these eggs, but I've got, three different boxes, and all 3 of them there's hens laying on eggs. And I just eeny meeny miny mowed, picked a hen, and it was the lucky one, and I got to pick her up and move her out of the way and get the eggs out of the way. And I just grabbed the ones that had the nice powder to them, and some I didn't. Some didn't have the nice powder. And what you'd want to do for incubation, fertilized eggs, is the powdery ones. That one, hang on, let me see my finger. That one kind of has powdery. That one was kind of powdery. That one. I think this one and this one. Now, these are brown eggs. They're not the same as the white ones. It's a little bit harder to determine all these things when it comes to brown eggs. You can't just, you can, I'm assuming you can do the candle test as the cycle progresses. But these have been out there underneath the hens for several days now, and I finally got this thing. It arrived and said, you know what, I'm going to go out there. I'm going to jack some eggs from a hen. Poor hen, right? I'm going to jack some of her babies and bring them in here. I'm going to run a little test, machine versus hen, and see what comes of it. And all right, but back to the temperature thing. I just want to talk about that before I get into the inner workings of this thing. Now, this should be on 37.5 degrees Celsius, just like that, right? And, that evens out. You got to use your, Celsius to Fahrenheit conversion there, 99 point something another, okay? So it just depends. It's a tiny little gadget, and you can only hope for the best. But if you let this thing, if you just plug this in without setting it, it will clock up pretty freaking high. You can overcook these eggs. They could be, they'll pop, right? So you don't want that. So you got to pay attention to, and I've got this set. So you would hit the set button, and when you hit the set button, let me just hit that real quick. I'm going to show you guys right here. Get you close enough so you can see what I'm doing here. All right, you hit the set button, and it'll light up, and then you can go, it's sliding all over the place. I'm trying to get my finger and the camera in the same spot. See, it goes up or down, right? And that says work. Set, like that. Boom. Now it's set. So now it's on 37.5. All right, that's good. Now you just have to do the conversion, because most chicken books and hen books and how to raise chickens and blah blah blah, all those will tell you about the the average Fahrenheit to have your don't let them get above 105 degrees Fahrenheit or something like that. I can't remember the whole spiel of it, but I did a little bit of reading before I turned this thing on and started doing it. Anyway, but there's your 7 eggs. Let's just go ahead and lift the lid. I know I'll get this on swiftly, trust me. And in here is where you put your water. Now, this whole tray comes up. You can lift the tray, Just lift the tray. It's just like that. It's a little motor. There's your little temperature gauge over there to the side, and that's where you put your water in. You'll see the water goes right there. Drop this in, and then every about every every 4 days or something like that. It's a different number for different time periods, but for this situation, I'm going to be turning this every morning, and I'm going to be checking the water, make sure your temperature gauge gets back in there. But I'll be checking the water, and let me get that lid on good. There we go. But I'll be checking the water, because the water is what does the humidity, and you need high humidity, high heat, and that's how you get this going. And see, it's all screwy again. This is all set wrong now, because it's this little temperature gauge over here. If you don't get this up like that and put this back down, see the eggs go down? See this? Like that. Now I just put these in here just a few minutes ago, so y'all don't get all worked up or nothing over what I'm doing here, because it's still pretty early. Alright, like that. Boom, and that's all there is to it. This should go back to the temperature that I set. It shouldn't be going, but it is. Here, let's just set this temperature right there. Set. There we go. Okay, it's going back up. See, now it's climbing. It's starting to pick it up again, but I had to fix that real quick. So the temperature will drop quickly when you take that off. And anyways, freezing cold temperature eggs, that was the other thing, you know, busting them out in freezing cold temperatures, and you know how to gradually bring them in, and what you should store eggs in, and you know, reading all this stuff. And then I just deciding, you know what, I'm just gonna fiddle with this thing. And you know, I have hundreds and hundreds of eggs in the fridge, and you know, we've frozen eggs, and lately we've had a few fertile eggs, and the hens are wanting to do their thing, so we're gonna let them, and we're gonna stop with the eggs for the rest of the winter, and let them focus on making some chicks, and we're gonna focus on making some chicks, and then hopefully around the bend we'll have some chicks. It takes a few days. All that information is all online, ready, available. I would go with the best resources for it, for raising chickens. You know, if you're doing the incubation process, to stick with it and wait the amount of days. You know, check on them about in about 8 days or so. Check to see if there's any irregularities. No deformed eggs into the incubator. Don't put any deformed eggs in there. A few other things. I mean, it comes with the pamphlet that you get. It's just a little tiny little thing. It doesn't really tell you too much. You got to kind of find out the rest of it from the raising chicken books. Kind of like we have a whole bunch of raising chicken books. I can recommend one real quick. This is the one that I use right here. But this just standard raising chickens, got the care, feeding, all that other stuff. It's pretty loaded it's got plenty of pictures for those of you that don't read. I'm just kidding. But anyways, it's a really good book. And getting into something like this, there's with the temperature readings for incubation, all that stuff's online. It's easy to grab. But you can grab one of these. I'll put it in a drop down if you guys are interested. I haven't had any eggs hatch yet. But like I said, I just got started, and this is probably going to be one of those, update you later kind of things. I'm pretty good about it, updating you guys later on how things turned out later. So, but I wanted to share. This is me sharing, and I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I hope it helps you guys get started. Now, don't forget, if you get one of these, just like I said, y'all make sure you fiddle with this thing, okay? Don't just plug it in and let them rip, because you might end up with some freaking omelets, all right? All right, God bless you guys. Take care.